You're flipping in the pad, rolling in the gut, all that fucking dope in the north, roll it off.
One. Hey y'all, welcome to the Frame Flower Podcast. This is episode 24. Again with my man CJ Humboldt of the Black Market Vikings. Thanks for joining me, CJ.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, man. I'm very excited for.
Last time the internet was fucking up, I apologize to any.
No worries, dude.
Holy
You-
crap! And we'd stop by someone's house because we were running late. We used my friend's office, and then her boyfriend was shit faced, and he was back to back calling her phone, so it was popping up on the computer during the podcast. So I apologize to the fucking viewers for that one. We were caught miraculously, unintentionally, in the middle of a shitstorm.
No worries, dude.
Podcast nonetheless. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that was dude. I love that podcast. That's why I was like, I don't usually go back to back people, but for you, dude, absolutely. Okay, let's hop in. I got the list of questions. We'll keep it pretty casual, but I guess let's start with the Humboldt culture in terms of you were saying a little bit about dreadnecks, right? And you're talking about hippies with lifted trucks, guns, cannabis. It's got this super interesting counterculture / mixed with don't tread on me a little bit, almost, you know what I mean? Like patriotism, wanting to keep, preserve freedoms.
So I think it's it's a culture that hasn't been fully brought to mainstream yet. I like to think it's more of a Northwest specific thing, but I think it's everywhere now, especially anywhere that weed is growing. But you have people who are hippie by default, I guess, because they're vegan or vegetarian, and they have some hemp sweaters and shit at the house, but it's a little hard to be hippie when you're riding around with fucking 400 gallons of diesel spewing out the side of your generator at your 200 lighter. That's fucking massive where you clear cut the trees illegally. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of the hardcore hippie mentality that came with Humboldt in the 60s, when it was and keep in mind, these are people who were developing communities and shit, building schools with their weed money, and they were being villainized by the government, treated like foreign invaders. They were going through it. So salute to them, because they really did pave the way, literally legitly did pave the way for the rest of cannabis, for the rest of the world, early on, but yeah, right now I think a lot of that old hippie, you might be second generation, third generation Humboldt. Your parents probably went to HSU, they got that hippie mentality. You grew up eating fucking shitty, horrible meals that taste like shit. And at some point you broke from that because you became very realistic. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, no, I like the earth, but I also like the way this diesel kicks black smoke. So now
that's true though. That is absolutely true.
By default, which is kind of I think a lot of lifestyles or fashion choices, almost, would you call it a lifestyle / fashion choice to be a hippie or to be Rasta, or and a lot of them they made that choice early, but then it transformed into yeah, no, I'm still the dude with the dreads. It's popping, but yeah, I'll beat your ass, and you know what I mean? I'm gonna do some blow, and
I get it's this interesting mix of and I think that's interesting. You're saying obviously kind of the hippie-ish part, kind of imagining because I've heard people talk about it, like some of the OGs talk about they came from the Vietnam War all fucked up. They wanted peace, kind of quiet, get away from it all. But I get this mixture now, and I think the point you made too about you get more realistic over time, that makes a ton of sense. But this I get a mixture of and I've never even been to Humboldt, so I really am not want to speak, but I guess from you and from other people I've kind of talked to, but this hippie / cowboy hood trapping, I guess, I don't know.
It's a definite mixture, but then again, even Compton, California has some rodeo, agricultural area in it and shit, and
have you heard of the Compton Cowboys?
Yeah, so this is a real thing, so I think every area, especially in California, is gonna have a mix. We have a great thing going here in California as far as the mixing of the cultures, because there's a little bit of everything, and then one can completely contradict another. A motherfucker can literally like, I'm not shitting you. Like, we had a homie named Travis who's like kicking it with all of us, literally like me and him, the only white dudes. But like, this fool's full blown wearing cowboy boots and a hat and Wranglers every day. Never gonna break that fashion for nobody. But like, no one, you know, because it's country enough that no one gave a fuck, you know. So,
Bro, I love that, dude. I love that, bro. Yeah.
Definitely very true. Arcata, or like where our university is, very hippie, kind of like Berkeley, kind of like Portland, Ashland kind of feel to it, you know. But like I said, even these hippies have evolved into this other shit that it's like, yeah, total peace and love. Unless you owe me money for a pound, then I'll smoke and beat your ass, Ted. You know what I'm saying? Like, it moved into some different. You know what I'm saying? I'm totally fucking vegetarian when I'm not eating meat. You know what I mean? That's the kind of, you know, the hippies we got.
That's a beautiful way to say it. I think that's a very realistic way to look at that too. Absolutely.
Just people evolving into this shit.
Yeah.
And then new cultures are formed, which is dope. Because I can honestly say we have our own shit going here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, we didn't really get into the last podcast, like a lot of the characters, and we don't have to go through like specifics. And I urge anybody watching this to go check out their YouTube, their Instagrams. But the characters, right? So what are some of your favorite characters you've developed? And then also, I guess, to stay in the Humboldt area of the conversation, you talked a little bit about that, but in the last podcast, but I guess, what are some of your favorite characters, and how is Humboldt and that diversity you were talking about kind of added to that, or maybe even been the
I mean, I don't know, every character to me, so it's weird to think like, what's your favorite character, because you're talking about yourself, you know what I mean?
It's like one part of me, right?
Like, I don't want anyone listening to think this is like some egotistical shit, because when I watch it, I don't watch myself. I'm watching someone else, the character. You know what I mean? Like, these are like things that live inside me. So me personally, like, I fuck with Ernie pretty heavy.
Ernie's my favorite.
I haven't exposed him yet either. There's still like a lot to learn about him. That's why I like him.
By the way, for the audience, Ernie's correct me if I'm wrong, he's the East Coaster getting all the packs, right?
No, that's Artie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ernie's the okay.
The dope fiend that manages the halfway house.
I know, yeah, I know what you're talking about, dude. Yeah.
The halfway house in the hood. He's the only white fool, and he be on dope, but he's the manager. So he's like a total dick.
I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Every time he bumps into someone, they're like, "Hey, what's up, man?" He's like, "Oh, do I know you?" "Yeah, you know my mom." He's like, "Oh, yeah, I remember her. She used to suck my dick." And fucking fools are always trying to beat him up because he runs his mouth.
Yeah,
he's like obsessed with battle royales on Fortnite. So like, he takes it hella personal if you like don't invite him to a party or something weird happens online. Like, it's the only time he actually gets pissed.
That kills me. So wait, real quick. So that guy with like the missing tooth and like the yes, dude, that guy killed me. That guy fucking.
That's one of my favorite, I think. And then like Connie, I think, is my favorite to make, because we can kind of like go off the Richter. Like, there's that one, and I was really happy when it made it to 10,000 views. And like, keep in mind, I don't know, there's probably people out there that laughed in my face if I told them I was happy about 10,000 views. But to me, I was.
That's a lot, dude. Yeah, that's a lot.
About it, to be honest with you, because there's a 12-minute freestyle we did in character as Connie and Todd. If you go down the page, you'll see this 12-minute video of us in the car where she talks about how she fucking was like yanking off one of the old dudes at the care home so that he would let her use a car. And now that she's getting extra money and shit, and it's fucking hilarious. But she's one of the more funny ones to play, because we don't have to have like a script. We don't like perform a lot of our written shit. A lot of the shit you see online is stuff that we came up with that day and we just did it. The written shit is more like people are gonna have to pay, I guess.
Yeah, you got that in the reserves.
Absolutely. I just think Connie's like, I can put on that wig and like, it's fucking weird, dog. But I can literally look like a bitch and go full character and be like excited about it. So.
It's hella funny though. It's like the one you have the most free form to do whatever like your creativity really flows through, right?
Every gangster thing I ever did in my whole past. When I dressed up, started making jokes about just I was like, fuck.
Hey man, you can't take yourself too serious, because then you end up real corny. You know,
yeah,
you can't be
hilarious. So I was like,
yeah.
this is fucking hilarious. Character because I can just fucking go. You know what I mean? She says like just belligerently stupid shit that like, and I like that character because it's like the closest to a real person of any of our characters outside of like us ourselves. Like that's like my Aunt Martha. Like I have to a fucking T. Like she's 6'4", 295, huge forearms, buff as fuck, beats the shit out of people. From college, Spartan Vallejo, gambles like a motherfucker. Has a best friend named Sharon that smokes crystal with her everywhere she goes. So like that character is like so fucking close to real life that it's hard not to get excited about playing that particular one. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You guys, what you guys should do, I think you guys should put like for like on YouTube mainly or whatever it would be, but put together all the compilation of each character so people can see like back to back all the different get like more. Yeah, I think that'd be dope.
Is left. We need some subscribers. So.
Yeah, definitely subscribe, guys. By the way, I know we
fucking went viral with 24 million views on TikTok in the last 90 days. We can't get 100 subscribers on YouTube.
YouTube's a weird one to crack. It's a weird one.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Oh yeah, it takes time. Once it starts to go, then it like it's weird because you'll see like, and like I've like watched a bunch of people talking about the algorithm and stuff, but like you'll see a pattern, and it's like YouTube's the one where way less so nowadays. You can like do a really funny video and it goes viral. Like it still happens, but it's really rare. Like TikTok's more so that a little bit more now, but.
I like TikTok as an app. It's been very, it's blessed us a lot, and it's just a good. The thing I noticed about TikTok that's why it's so powerful is you see a lot of famous people on there trying really hard to do normal people ass shit. That's when it's like checkmate. Like,
that is a perfect way to put it. That is so
tired of seeing the same nerds in the same fucking movies, the same cast, the same stupid fucking people. Then they do these dumbass movies where they load all the shit bags in there for one star-studded cast of shit bags that you've seen in the same movies for the last 30 fucking years. We're over that. That shit's done. We're gonna come independent. I'm gonna change the fucking game. I'm gonna fucking drop bombshells that include like first-time actors, like a motherfucker that's never even acted before. I'm gonna lock in with them for 30 days. We're gonna knock out some shit that like resonates, like kills the game. But yeah, all this shit fucking Hollywood crap is starting to actually die out, and people are starting to smarten up. Wait a minute, why does Selma Hayek still get casted as a teenager? You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely, dude. It's crazy now too because you're starting to see like. Especially right now, I think you're seeing it more apparent. Like the real, people have said the last like real movie stars are like George Clooney and Brad Pitt. Like those are the last of their breed. But now you're seeing like TikTok stars, YouTube stars. Like, dude, it's shifting, bro. And then it's funny. You see these people like that come from the traditional Hollywood place or environment, and then now they're trying to come onto YouTube, and some have done it well, some haven't. But there's a bunch of them if you see them, but they'll they'll do this whole like rollout of their YouTube, and they'll try to act like it's like a regular YouTube style where this is all organic. Like I don't have fucking Dwayne The Rock Johnson coming on my podcast because I'm a star. It's because we're buddies, and like no, it's just overproduced, and it's not the YouTube style, and no one wants that anymore, dude. It's so funny. It's so fake.
People don't want to hear what you rich fucks have to say. You're corny. Get a bunch of money, and people know you've already went corny. If they gave you a check for $5 million tomorrow, the fucking best thing you can do is ride it out for 5 years, pretend it never happened, because it would keep your material raw, and people wouldn't hate you. You get too much money, people are like, fuck you. Dwayne The Rock could drop the best movie that's ever been made in the history of mankind. I wouldn't go see it, and when I drove by the poster, I'd be like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Just because, you're fucking corny. We're done with that. Come on, let's move on, people. So, not to hate on them, they've done some great work, but it's getting a little repetitious, getting corny. Entertainment's getting corny, music getting corny, so it's time to, let's start fucking, as soon as I get into a position or someone gets into a position, let's fucking put on some young people, some thirsty. I found this chick on Instagram. She raps. She's like, you wouldn't look at her and think she's a rapper, and she's not the best rapper. But the amount of bravery that she carries with herself, I'm like, man, I could develop this woman into a genius actress. I could make a piece of film
that was artistic with her, that would be a performance of a lifetime, that we could just drop once and change the game. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, dude, that boldness, bro, the boldness of like one thing I've told people is like, bro, I'm personally, I'm not the, I'm definitely not the smartest person at all. I ramble a lot. I've gotten better over the months of not fucking sounding like an idiot, like a rambling. But like my best fucking quality, bro, is I'm not afraid to look stupid / put myself out there, because I know like, so that ability to like not really give a fucking, like, put yourself out there and like, this is what it is. People attract to that, but just to have that ability, that is so valuable. That is the thing that holds back hundreds of millions of, like, millions of people from not doing something that they would want to do.
I think that I would never have been brave enough to even try to do comedy or put myself in the spotlight had I not hit like a rock bottom, where it's like, I've been to prison 3 times. I've terrorized my community. What do I have left that they could? This is, if I don't make them smile now, I'll never get a chance to get, forgiven for my crimes or for the damage I did to my people. So I was like, you kind of hit a point where you if you care what people think about you, it's not going to stop you from getting rich, because some of the richest people we know are the most insecure, which is fucking crazy to me. I'm like, so you're fucking worth fucking $80 million and you care what this random account with no profile picture said to you in the comments? You want to pay us to go find this random ghost hater? Like, are you fucking serious? We'll take the payment. We'll go look for people. I mean, are you serious? But it's like, you see like a lot of the more wealthy people, have deeply rooted insecurity. So I don't think being insecure in that way, caring what other people think, I don't care. I don't think it will stop you from getting rich, but it will stop you from being happy. And you want to be happy when you're rich. So like me personally, I don't give a fuck what people think. And like, I really just, I kind of like feel bad for people who do, I kind of feel bad because like, if I can't call you on Christmas Eve and like tell you I'm broke down on the side of the road and know that you'll stop what you're doing, sacrifice your Christmas morning to drive where I'm at and help me, then I could give 2 fucks what you care about. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
weird. I feel like I would sacrifice my Christmas. I would pull up on so many people, but in reality, not that many people would do that for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The amount of people that I would do that for versus the amount of people who would actually do it for me is so completely different. But that just goes to show you what positive energy really is. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, when the equations don't make sense for how much good you're willing to do for other people versus how much they'd even thought about doing for you, you're onto something great. You know what I'm saying? Because your energy is unstoppable. And a lot of the, I woulda, I coulda, I shoulda type people, they can suck a dick. Straight up. I laugh at it. Like, it ain't nothing to it but to fucking do it. Nothing's in a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, really though. No, 100%, dude. I do feel bad for those kind of, like, those people too that are just so confined by their insecurity. Like, I don't, like, it's funny, dude. Like, I think you're really right though. Most of the like richest people we know, like, some of the most insecure people, right? Some of the most successful, like, insecurities can be like positives if you know how to use them right. Right? They can be driving motivations in a sense. Now, people can go overboard and really care way too much. But
being worth $75 million and you cared what people thought you looked like.
Yeah.
I would literally look like Nick Nolte after he smoked crack for a week and chased it down with some heroin in an old shitbox car. I wouldn't give a fuck because I'd be worth so much money. Well, I mean, what in life would even move me at that point? Women would mean nothing. Real estate would mean nothing. So yeah, if you're like that papered and you still care what people think about you, Jesus Christ, what the hell's going on with there, guy? Yeah. Like, let me be your life coach. You need some perks. You need to be in good. You know what I mean?
You need some 30s in your life, bro.
Yeah. Watch a couple skits, get a laugh, man. You'll be all right.
Literally, dude. Oh yeah. All right. So I've been known about Lux Lighting for a while now, and and then I saw the connection with that you have with Lux Lighting, with the Black Market Vikings and Lux Lighting. But you know what, like, and I've heard about them for like the last couple of years, but what blows my mind, and I was thinking about this, is we've talked about like cookies and like the cannabis brands that are really branding and doing all the right marketing stuff to put themselves in a whole nother category of success, really. And then I thought about the lighting industry, and I was like, dude, Lux Lighting is killing the game. Like they're just in a they're in a different like universe in their understanding of like, is there any other lighting companies like Lux Lighting that are like that popular?
No, what the
No.
fuck?
Yeah.
What, is there any other companies that have reached out to real motherfuckers that are really in the game and went to ground zero for the culture? No, fuck no, not at all. They're so far from that shit, it's not even funny. They're the only people that were like, let's go fucking tap in with the real motherfuckers, and then eventually everybody will follow suit. And that's exactly what happened. But with us, it was the even opposite, because we weren't revered as some mega grower in the industry. We were a bunch of fucking peons that just got out of prison and barely had a fucking 10 lighter set up. But I needed some lights. I was going to build something out in Oregon, and I was like, we got introduced to the owner of Lux Lighting by a mutual friend who breeds Frenchies, Utmost Frenchies, and my godbrother, Cali Rick from OCK, Oregon Coast Kennels. They were like, go down there. These dudes, you know, like they're the homies. You should meet them, you know, and try to get the lights, you know. And that's what I wanted was Lux. I seen it online. I was like, I want to try this. And the mutual friends. Anyways, we pulled up on them, and never did we ever think we were going to end up meeting some people that would be like the fucking homies. You know what I'm saying? Like we went, partied, had fun, hung out, ended up hung out 3-4 days, kicked it. And, you know, they're so real. It wasn't about them. It wasn't about, you know what I mean? It wasn't, they were like, yo, like we really see what you're trying to do. And like, it's actually bringing joy to people. You know, if someone on their work break is getting a good shot at this, getting a good laugh at this, like we want to help you, you know, so we're going to hook you up with some lights, and we're going to help you, get you some MJ BizCom, you know, and like the level of support was like, it's hard to match because they're so supportive of others, which you see. Look at the growth that's happening. I mean, you go places. I'm in LA. I'm at the grocery store grabbing a couple things, and look over. I see a Lux hat and a Lux shirt in the same day by two totally different people. So the movement is like wildfire right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It blew my mind. And I saw them at when I was at MJ Biz in 2018 in Vegas. I saw them everywhere. I talked to random people, and they literally there was two different people separately I've talked to, and they like somehow Lux Lighting got brought up, and both people, and I swear to God, both people are going, oh, you should talk. Like I just talked to like one of the owners, like one of the coolest cats like I've ever talked to, like so down to earth, and like, you know, with some of these like but like just it's crazy, dude. It's just like the lighting industry is kind of like a sub, you know, it's kind of a I think they're kind of one of the, I don't know if they're like the first, but like they really embrace the cannabis industry. You know, I don't know if they came from that or not, but
well, no, that's to say like there's like it's our industry as well, because they're for growers by growers. That's the slogan, you know. And then if you look at their marketing strategy, though, so just like we talked about last time, you know, finding a marketing strategy that's going to fit your product is important, to recognize which strategy, and sometimes it might not be the one you originally thought. You might fall into a strategy that gains some traction, so you push it. You know, with their strategy, straight to real growers, real fucking weed people, and then see if everyone else follows suit, which eventually they did, because you know, there was some good production and good results coming out of the product. But I just think like, I mean, just to think like, early on, we're not even known yet, and they knew about us. So that just shows you how close they had their finger on the pulse of the culture. Like
really
we're
though.
humble,
Yeah.
you know, and then taking the North Coast by storm and just hooking everybody up and doing like a lot of great. I don't know, you know, their marketing is genius. You know, instead of now let companies learn from this. Which if another light company went and tried to, this is another the crazy thing about marketing, which is nuts. So like, let's just say a light company, because now there's all types of light companies just birthing out of nowhere. They're like, holy shit, these dudes are winning. You know what I'm saying? Keep in mind, these light companies don't have a CJ Humboldt. They'll never have a CJ Humboldt. Just fucking give up. It's over. It's over.
It's crazy. Like because I was looking, I was like, holy like there's a whole famous like quote by like Jeff Bezos. He says like, yeah, we already knew we were going to become like the fucking marketplace of online, and we had a 7-year head start. But and it's a little separate, it's obviously very separate from this, but like the distance between, I couldn't even name you another lighting company, bro. I really couldn't. I really couldn't, dude.
Show you though. Think about like from zero to where it is now with us and a couple other people who. So what they did with us, they should just supported us, and we supported them back because it was a company that we were actually using the product. Then we started using Athena. I'm like, this is perfect. You know what I mean? And so we're like, you know, just help us out. We want to support you guys. And that was an equal support. A friendship was made, but we've watched them grow in a way that's like, holy shit. Like this is fucking booming, you know, and like hats off to them because that wasn't easy. They pioneered a marketing strategy that didn't involve hiring this crazy fucking team. It was just pull up on some real ass growers, give them a deal, and hope that the product speaks for itself. Very risky, very high payoff. But now you have a lot of shit companies breeding up. They're going to maybe attempt to do the same thing, but their contact with the real ones will be too late. The real ones will have loyalty to them. And then they'll revert back to that shit fucking getting some ugly chick with medium-sized boobs to stand in a grow with their little light in the background. They'll revert back to the corny shit because to copy their marketing strategy, how they bet with us, and then they bet on a couple key growers to have awesome rooms. Like it was literally like, let's just take two routes. Hey, these fucking comedians are really cool. They're actually using our shit. Let's fucking give them a lane. Let's go. Hey, these fucking growers, let's just give them a lane and see if they produce the biggest, baddest rooms in SoCal. And then it all worked, right? So for another company to roll the dice and try that, that could backfire huge. You give it wrong fucking you go try to hire a couple influencers, you know what I mean? You got the fucking run-of-the-mill geeks taking normal little pre-roll joint shit pics in the grow room. It's not even really theirs. They just hung your light up real quick. You get corny shit. And so they set themselves ahead on a marketing strategy that was a risk, but it paid off and it was very smart. And we were a fucking honor to be a part of it and still be a part of it because it's a product that we truly believe in, you know what I'm saying? So like, this is marketing history. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely, dude. I literally, because
and built it passing them, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's crazy because I saw the first like kind of collaboration content that I saw with Lux was the one with Ivan and the Jungle Boys. I think it was like Gabriel Cannabis he's from Seattle. Shout out to Gabriel, by the way.
The short they made.
Yeah, that shit, bro, was so like I was like low key, like slightly crying by the end, and
very good.
Your content, I was crying by the end from laughter. But like both were just hard hitting as fuck, dude. I was, yeah, dude.
And so like the cool thing about that movie that really got me, that I was like, that wasn't like some shit they just paid some fool. Like that was really from them coming right off their head, their whole vision put together, making sure the right people they were putting together. It was very gripping, like that shit. So like, I want to do shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And just try to get to that level. But to like not have much experience in cinematography and then to bang that one out, I'm like, what are we doing here? Let's make fucking 10 more movies. What the fuck you guys doing, you know? But that took them some time, you know, aside from their already busy schedules. But I thought that was a hit. It was very, very true to like, you know, a lot of our stories. You know, we've all been robbed once, you know, we've all fucking had somebody say they didn't receive a pack and then they really did receive it. You fucking asshole, Andrew. If you're watching, I'm going to kill you. No, just tuning in, little cocksucker. You've been watching my story. I owe my money. No, just
bro. Yeah, dude. And just to wrap up the Lux thing, but dude, they're crushing it. And they obviously are they have there's a whole skill to like understanding the internet, understanding different, you know, characters, media, like understand, like being able to diagnose the true value in it. Like they obviously have an eye for it because they caught you so early on, and I mean, shit's catching on. I mean, people realize now. I mean,
it was just weird that it wasn't the early on support wasn't like give us this in exchange. It was like, yo, we want to help you. That was it.
Long-term relationships, bro. And those are the smartest people that do that. The smartest people know that long-term. You know, that's why like the people that be jugging when we're like younger, you kind of come up, you see all these people next to you, and like these, you know, fuckers are trying to rob people for like a half-o or, you know, like a fucking quarter, and it's just like, bro, that's not good business, dog. Like, what?
I look at someone who's like, I wouldn't consider like another influencer like a competition. I wouldn't consider that as like I have talent and like influencers don't usually. Yeah. But like if I look at another one, I'm thinking in my head like, dude, I have a fucking M in front of my sales report at Lux. Like, I sold $1 million worth of lights, guy. Like, what? So, like, that, you know, like, what is an influencer going to say to that? Like, yeah, no, I fucking jumped on a marketing team, then sold an M. So now what? Now it's just 1 month. So now what? You know, so I think our marketing style was like a dice roll that worked. I don't think it could be duplicated. Yeah. Unless we found some funny motherfuckers and then they found a product, you know what I mean? But I'm hoping, like, I personally, this is a weird, you know, request, but I wanted to make some Lux Lighting like exercise clothing. I don't know why I was so stuck on that, but like early, I was like,
let's make like fucking shirts and fucking shorts and shit for chicks. And they're like, no, dude, what the fuck are you print on demand? I went through all hell to like try to pitch it, and it just got shot down. So, you know, can't take much credit for what's happening. You know, we did some skits and their product speaks for itself. So we were like real lucky to like jump on board right when we did, you know, and on like a fluke just drove to actually, you know, like a lot of people in cannabis, they'll say like pull up anytime, you know, we pull up, you know what I mean? Like you give us the old invite to the farm, we're pulling up and we're getting ripped, you know, and with them, it was like, we pulled up and had fucking the time of our lives. Talon still has bad credit. And isn't allowed in like a bunch of fucking Holiday Inns.
Well, okay, brother. Okay, let's dude, yeah. So just I love what they're doing, and I love you know them identifying that. But okay, let's go back. So we took a little detour, but let's go back a little bit to the Humboldt area, and then later on we're gonna get into some of the different some really interesting, some dope stuff. We talked about a little bit about that. Okay, so is it or was it common for growers or dealers to get robbed in Humboldt? Like, was that really a thing, or was it more of a worry about law enforcement? I'm interested in that because you know in the city, you know, people are hitting licks all the time. You know, I've had fucking like 3 guns pulled on me, but you know, I don't know. Are you just because of his Humboldt and there's just the law enforcement was fucking crazy there in terms of the federal government coming in and stuff? Like, what would you say? I mean, when it comes to
our home invasion per capita is through the fucking roof.
Is it? Damn.
It's not a big town, and we have a lot of fucking home invasions, a lot of armed robberies surrounded by weed, a lot that are not reported. There's a fucking robbery in Southern Humboldt in the hills you know, but a lot of that it seems to be more or less lately, you know, people showing up with 18 pounds through side of the road deals getting stripped. It doesn't seem like a lot of big time properties getting ripped down and people getting tied up and shit. But this dude is like very, very, very prominent home invasion area. Special tactical teams coming out here hitting licks. Whole family tied up and shit. Like,
yeah.
It happens a lot. Like
I heard about a crazy. I don't want to get too into it, but I heard a crazy story where they popped like 10 people and they didn't take any. It was that whole story is crazy.
No, this shit's real as fuck.
When
it happens out in the hills, it's usually squads of people doing robberies, which is worse because they're storming a property with the intention of like almost be militant the way they lock it down.
Yeah. That's wild.
But where we live, West Eureka, is a lot of that. It's a lot of, you know, a paisa might be selling heroin a couple weeks, get a little bit of traffic at his house. Somebody's running up in that bitch, laying him down, taking it. Weed deals, motherfuckers might be in and out of a house showing samples. People notice it. Somebody's running in there. It's the same as anywhere else, but it definitely happens a lot. And if anyone tells you something about it here or refers to this as a place that happens, like they're giving you fair warning because it's for real. Real. Like
So that's why. So it's because you know LA is famous for LA is obviously famous for home invasion, and like you know you hear about the crazy stories like with Pop Smoke, like the guy got literally popped because he fucking his like manager or he posted on his Instagram his location and they came in and that, but like it seems like it's like that, but it's a lot more militant almost, like it's like squads of people like it times, you know, because of the cannabis element. I think that there's a little bit more money concentrated or value concentrated maybe in.
Well, so you have to think that the quality of criminal that's been exposed to what you might be trying to hide or be holding possession of is higher. So now you're not going to have the gangbangers who killed Pop Smoke necessarily in the hills at a 300 lighter around 4 or 5 million cash that's been exchanged on a daily, people coming in. So sometimes when these robberies happen at a big grove, big out in the hills, it's somebody that's been exposed to whoever's involved and then either went negative or was negative from the gate. Who knows the stories, but these are people that have been exposed to big operations, big money. So when they're coming in, they're not coming in with a pea shooter to go into your Airbnb. They're coming in fucking 8 deep and they're laying shit down and they're tying people up and they're going to stick around for 5 or 6 hours, maybe even a day, 2, 3 days. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? So this is a different level of criminal
It's not something that they would find on the internet and go on a fluke. It's something that would be an inside somebody who encountered or somebody who knew this was a big enough job for us to fucking grab 6 trained people from, let's keep in mind, this is the middle of nowhere. So there's nothing for 3 hours every direction. There's one town, a bunch of mountains with little tiny little villages and sectors in it with houses, grows and shit. There's one town in the middle and there's nothing for 3 hours every direction. So to get a team of people from another city to come here to organize enough to go to a property where you plan on possibly being there for 2 days, taking the weed out, that's a big operation. That's a sophisticated criminal. The Hoovers, the people who shot Pop Smoke, were known in LA for what they do.
Yeah, I've heard they've been wild in. Yeah,
LA, there's other cliques that have been doing the same things. LA, it's a known area for this, so you should be way smarter than that. And then that's like some tragic shit because it's extremely talented. Like I swear to you, I was like thinking the other day, like, damn, Pop Smoke, had he been given like another like 2 albums, this is like a top 5 like of all time. Like him and Lil Baby, I think, are the only 2 rappers that have came out recently that I would say like these dudes have the possibility to end up being top 5 of all time. Like,
I agree with you 100%. I 100%. And like Lil Baby's like voice and flow is kind of crazy and like and that's different. But like Pop Smoke, dude, the like opening of like Dior, like, bro, it is one of the hardest songs I've ever fucking. But like he also like it's crazy because he linked up with the producer in London because he was taking all his beats anyway. And it's this whole like new. Because I grew up with like in high school, we grew up with like the Chief Keefs, like the Chicago drill. And this guy, Pop Smoke, he kind of brought back New York rap in a lot of ways, but he linked up with the guy with these like slow, fast, like trap beats, right? It's like what like the London drill is. And he like literally now has there's a whole new genre of like, or subgenre of rap now that he's pretty much the one who started.
yeah,
And it just shows you that's like talent, 100%.
great, 100% musical genius. But then I got off track. The level of, the same jealousy, robbery, violence, that predatory attack and hunting down of people who have things that are worthy of maybe murdering for is the same in the weed industry as the music industry or in the jewelry industry or any industry where criminals have had a chance to fucking observe what's happening and know they want their piece. So any industry that's had criminals exposed to it, criminals get exposed to shit, they think, I want some. And if they can't get it nicely, they get it the bad way. You know what I'm saying? So with weed, I think Humboldt used to be an open book. A lot of people would come from out of the area. That goes in spurts. You might have a couple of years where there's a lot of out-of-town buyers, a lot of new faces, a lot of people being welcome. Then you have a couple of years where it seems like you're only kind of middlemaning to your own people from here. There's not that many buyers, mainly now because there's weed other places. So fewer buyers are coming here. We've seen a drastic change in the way our market operates.
Yeah. But I think too though, like I think because it's cannabis, because it's this industry, and like you said, there's within the industry, there's these types of criminals, but some of the really more nuanced, smarter criminals coming into Humboldt. I think that's an interesting point. Excuse me.
I think like we have so many licensed farms now, and I think that they're assuming that's going to reduce the amount of violence because that was the whole purpose of the legality was to like, let's make it legal so no one's killing each other over it. But I'm like, seems to be a pretty heavy influx of people getting smoked over the shit.
Yeah.
Maybe because now they've made less black market growers with all the abatement notices and all the bust and more legal grows. So it seems to have less of a criminal element around the mountains and around the community because it does seem, even 3 years ago, way worse than it is right now. People leaving, mass exodus, going to South Oregon because their property has been abated by satellite. So do I think there's a threat now? Nothing like there was 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
But you just can't invite strangers and you have to beware. One thing about weed, man, motherfucking friends change. Just like Nas says, man, love changes, friends change, best friends become strangers. Like, you don't never know, man. The motherfucker might owe you money and turn on you. Like, you owe me for 4 fucking pounds, but now all of a sudden we're having a fucking argument like I'm the bad guy. So it's like, oh, small price to pay, stay the fuck away from me. But now I got to worry because this cocksucker's been to my indoor. I've took him to 3 or 4 different gates, properties I've worked and been at. You know what I'm saying? And that's the cold part about the weed game. You know, you have to keep moving forward, but you don't really know what your past can bring, you know?
Yeah, that's a great point, dude. I mean, the black market, I think the illegal market's way bigger, like still, but even in the legal market, it's pretty small actually. It's kind of a smaller world. I mean, it's getting bigger and bigger, but you know, it's a smaller world.
What's going to happen? It's getting huge.
Yeah, it's getting big.
Oh,
It's starting to get crazy big for sure though. So and so and then I guess that's a great segue into this question we can just touch on pretty quick here. Is so like what time period do you think was, to your knowledge, the most dangerous in Humboldt? Like, was it the camp era, which for the viewers, if you don't know, was it like the 80s? They did like the war on drugs, or it was like the early 90s, late 80s, and they would just like they literally were sending in the military, right? But if you had to say though, what was the most dangerous time for in Humboldt that you can remember?
I want to say, man, I was only about 10, but like the 92 to like 98 was a pretty gnarly time, just like in America in general.
Yeah.
Fucking gnarly ass time, bro. Like gang banging and shit was happening, like the Little Rock, and like there was a lot of shit going on in that part of the 90s, dog. Like it was just fucking, I just remember then, like, the neighborhoods being so much fucking gnarlier, and like
It was the hangover from the 80s, bro. I swear.
yeah, bro. And it was like bathtub dope was like in full effect. So
Yeah.
like meth labs were at an all-time high in the early 90s. Like they came in the 80s, but in the 90s, every cartel had them. You know what I'm saying? And they were all here. You know, so I want to say like, man, 93 to 98 is probably like the craziest time in California in general.
Yeah.
Other than like maybe what's to come. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, dude. No, that does seem, and that is like right around the camp area. I mean, the reason why they brought the camp or whatever the fuck, I don't even know what camp stands for, to be honest. It stands for like the whatever it is.
Cops, ass mongering penises.
There we go. That's what. Yeah, that makes sense. But they brought that in, I guess, for that to be the counter to, you know, what you were just talking about, that time period, because they started in like 1990, I think, one or something, and they did it for like.
Yeah, and I remember like we've been camped on and shit. I remember that, but like, no, I don't think anything compared to like right now. They don't even need camp. They just send you a little letter that's like, "Yo, we've got a picture of this shit," and like, take another picture.
Way more effective. Like,
the amount of zeros on the bill they're talking about, it's like fucking cut that shit down now. Go camp that shit yourself. Land on your own shit and cut it down when you see the bill of what they're gonna hit you with. Like, they tricked us into doing it ourselves. We're totally bots.
Yeah, dude, bro. So, and then, you know, I guess that also points to like, you know, with you're talking about a little bit earlier about how there's other places now to go for weed. But like, is the quote unquote trimigrant, the cannabis trimmer tourist circuit, is that still a thing? Like, is it still popping off? Like,
that's a fucking awesome question. Like, dude, I want to be real with you. So like, I want to say, sadly, it's dying down. The amount of trimigrants is way less. Now, like fucking 5 years ago, it was fucking awesome, bro. We had a whole season of like, you know, this small town. It's like 15,000 people come to your area from hella Argentinian chicks, Costa Ricans. We got a whole fucking smorgasbord of chicks. It's nice, you know. But I think what was happening was, people just got sick of like when they'd leave their property. You have like 60 people living on your property, all you're doing deps, and then like when they get paid, they want like what I noticed, the trimigrants went from being like little homeless people that were traveling up here and hippies are traveling up here to full-blown immigrants from another country traveling in 20-30 deep packs, and you can spot them from a mile away. It's like fucking wow. I wonder what those 20 dudes that are all 5'4" are doing. Like that are hacky sacking at the gas station. They're not here. It's like, Jesus. They don't have pants on. I wonder if they're from America. You know what I mean? So yeah, you get the group of Argentinians that works their fucking ass off, and then what happened was people started making arrangements and like pre-paying international groups to come. So the hottest chick I ever like fucked in my whole life was a Costa Rican woman that I met at my buddy's trim scene.
And the way I went there is like he was not answering the fucking phone for me. And like I had his samples, but I'm like, yo, is everything good with this dude? Like, who doesn't answer the phone when I'm trying to give your samples back? You know what I mean? So I fucking go over there and knock on the door. And like when he opens the door, he like gives his little fat little foot behind the door. Like I won't put, I'm like, what the fuck's going on here, dogs? I push back. I'm like, what's up, fool? And he's like, you can't fucking tell anyone, dude, but they're here. And I'm like, who's here? And we go in his garage and he has like this 15 Costa Rican chicks that he flew from Costa Rica. He met them on vacation and licensed them all to, he just contracted them. Like, you guys are all coming to my shit to trim. But like when they got there, he didn't think they'd actually show. He sent the money, thought he was gonna get burnt. They showed up. They're like, what's up? Ready to trim, right? So he tried to keep it a fucking secret. Well, I immediately, this is my younger days too, where I'm still a whippersnapper, you know what I mean? I wasn't fucking dead inside from having a wife and kids and bills and shit. I cared about life, you know what I mean? But so I fell in love with one of them and I railed her out a bunch of times. And like, I was like, to the point, I was like, I'm marrying this one. She's not going back. Her name is Isabel. She's fucking beautiful. The most, other than my wife, of course, if anyone's listening, of course.
Obviously. Yeah.
Obviously. Other than her, though, baddest bitch I've ever fucked. And fell in love with her. Was like trying to talk her into like staying in America. But there was like a whole smorgasbord to choose from. They were all like really cool people. Like on, you know, it wasn't like I just took her and was like, I can bone because you're trimming. She like made me date her for like 3 weeks. It was weird. It was cool because the whole time I was dating her, some other Costa Rican dude was just railing her. So it was like, cool, making me work for 3 weeks. So I kind of fell out of love when I found that out.
Yeah. I feel
It was beating the whole time. You know what I mean? It's like, geez, okay. Like I was kissing you and shit. That was weird. But there used to be droves, man. A lot of Argentinians, Peruvians, you know.
Bro, it was Murder Mountain, bro. Fuck that documentary, bro. They scared everyone. That's not even like.
There's just fucking hella legal grows now. The shit is just over, dog. There's no black market. They'll come out here and sit around. And now, you know, I do want to say this. This is fucked because the growers will never take responsibility for this, but they just started growing shittier and shittier and shittier weed. People are like, I'm not going to travel to go trim seeded smalls. Even at $20 an hour, I don't even want to be around weed that shitty. I'd rather just stay here in Argentina. You know what I'm saying?
That's wild.
Weed is getting shittier and shittier. Some of the outdoors I've seen this year, bro, are horrible. They're fucking great.
More about the money, or is it just bad growing?
A lot of fires.
Yeah. The fire's been wild over there. Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about the last 2 years, bro. That's like devastated a lot of people. That was kind of fucked up, you know.
Yeah.
It's not.
Oregon got hurt really bad too. Oregon, I heard, and I mean, even ours on the east side, bro. There were some parts of Washington, bro, because the smoke was carrying over. Like motherfuckers were out there, like full hazmat suit, like trying to blow like the smoke. It was bad. There's I'm not gonna name obviously names, but like because
you can't rinse it off with the water.
Yeah, bro.
And shit. I mean, once the smoke hits it, though, what's the point of blowing the ash off? Just let it roll out.
Yeah, really.
But it's already hickory smoked. It's nothing. You might as well turn it into distillate at that point, you know. So that's what happened too. There was an influx of like distillate seemed very desirable. It was a hot commodity. A lot of people pledged to do distillate with their whole harvest. So there was a shit show of like, where's all the flour going to go? Who knows what's the best route?
And all the autos coming out too now. Everyone's getting the auto flowers and just like.
I got a fucking whole bag full of those fucking shits at my buddy's house right now. They suck. So a lot of people now are claiming though that they've got genetics that have like been perfected where they're going to be producing autos that look like gelatos is kind of what they said, but without the British accent. Some little fucking weirdos. But yes, supposedly they're coming out with autos that are going to be kick-ass. I'm not smoking it. I'm not smoking really outdoor weed at all anymore.
Yeah, outdoors cool. I mean, it's I don't know. It depends, but 100%, dude. So, quick question. So I've heard you guys talk about the GDP strain, obviously the granddaddy perp, and you guys are talking about how how you get 4K or people who get 4K for over on the east side or mid or 6 actually at one point, right? And this is pretty this is like I don't even know how long ago, but why is the GDP strain so valuable back in the day, or is it still?
Okay, so this is my personal opinion now. There's always going to be groups of like weed nerds that never got pussy that are fucking geeks that are going to be like, he fucking doesn't even know what he's talking about. We had the GDP in fucking 74. There's always going to be those fucking nerds that listen to this shit. No, He was smoking cactus and didn't even know it. In fact, it wasn't even purple back then. Anyways, fucking nerds. Well, listen, for me, I started seeing more and more strains appearing at once. So instead of having like 3 or 4 dominants, like we had like the Orange Crush, we had the Big Bud, we had White Rhino, we had some like more dominant ones at the time. Instead of seeing that, I started seeing like lots of different varieties. And the GDP, when it came, it offered having the color, which was beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, bro.
It's like the old school purple punch now, because everyone's going crazy with that purple punch kind of, right?
Yeah, crazy. They purple punch their own fucking customers out of rotation. Fucking people didn't want to pay for packs, so they're like, this fucking shit doesn't get me high.
Just looks pretty.
With this, it was the first weed that was hitting the market by storm that the taste matched the look, which made the price okay. And that was the first that did that.
Yeah.
To me, that was the first strain that the taste matched the look, and then that made the price okay. There was no squabbles or argument about getting the high for that, because that just was what it was. And that was the first to do that. And then there was other strains that came that did that afterwards. Or like the Skywalker OGs for a while were like the fucking ones, But I think GDP had a little bit longer of a reign than the gases did, because OG had a hardcore reign as well. Then Cookies had a gnarly reign. Now Gelatos ran it up, and we're moving on to the RS11s, and I'm not going to name any of the other newer ones because these dudes are not paying us. But one thing I'm fucking super sprung on, the Hippie Crasher from Jungle Boys, that's like some next level shit. The London Pound Cake from Vert Boys, that's next level shit. Those genetics right there, next level. Big fan of Alien Labs. He's got some shit in there. Those dudes are next level.
Fucking scientists, mad scientists, just throwing fucking,
None of those dudes ever paid me to say that. That's just off the top of my head, thinking of things that I actually enjoy smoking that a motherfucker would buy over the counter. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, here's a good transition into this question though. Is like, so I guess we've seen a lot of people market the strains, but like, I guess what's the balance between like a new like a more newer marketing trend is you're starting to see people stop emphasizing the strain as much because they don't want, because you could grow some GDP, I could grow some GDP, someone else could grow some GDP. So emphasizing that GDP and people coming into the store, like, oh, I want that GDP from them, and then maybe they don't have it. Okay, well, I'm gonna get the GDP from these other people. That can maybe stop the loyalty. But like, I guess what's the right balance between the strain and marketing and branding, and because I kind of see strains as like the first kind of brand ever in cannabis before there was really an industry, right? Like
it was like the first organic branding too, because it was what it was. It was having its own name naturally in the game. People were just coming up with names for shit, and it was like sticking. It either would stick or it wouldn't, or people would have their own name for it. Even like calling indoor Zaza in LA, That's like natural branding that's happening on its own. I think that it's super important for a company to not like, you have to have the staples. Like me personally, I'm gonna offer a GMO because, like you said, if they come in and say, give me the so-and-so GMO rosin, and they say, well, we don't have that GMO, but we have this one. So I'm gonna have a couple 3 or 4 foundations, and then I'm always gonna be trying to develop my own thing, my own strain, instead of taking gelato, calling it my own, becoming another fucking piece of shit brand that did that. That's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you want true branding, true growth, or like originality, or you want to build a customer base built around the actual quality of the product, right? You can't just go single-handedly on just yours unless you are willing to take that risk of that completely crashing and burning, So like Lion Bolt Farms, they're very good. Their branding's amazing. They haven't crossed over to the white market yet, but they have the El Presidente strain. Awesome strain, straight up fire. It has the potential to make it to the Super Bowl and win, right? But they have a great supporting cast. They have a crazy Tropicana cookie in there that's, name brand. They got some Kush Mints that was name brand, from Seeds and Pheno Hunts. So I think, me personally, you got to have that foundation, couple strains that are, you have to have a Zittles extract at some point, just because the real smokers want that shit. But
Yeah, you got to have your own original shit. It's important not to just develop your own shit though and go so hard on your own shit and put all out. Me personally, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't, like, you know, you see some companies, they just get caught up in their, we made this and like, this is our strain, this is our strain, this is our strain. That's cool, but we might want to break the ice with something we've heard of before and see, well, you did it. You know what I mean? So, which is kind of cool because everybody can go to the store and buy a Glock, but not everybody's going to have a custom Glock with the laser beam and all this. So you could drop your gun off at 50 different stores. They might all do a different build. So that's pretty cool, which makes it a competitive, awesome market. And then you have your builds done and you see who's the best. So I think of it as like selling weed is kind of like selling guns. Like anybody could do a crazy build. All of us could buy the same one. We can all use it to destroy each other if we wanted to, but we'd be better off appreciating the art and the ones who are standing out with original shit, custom made fucking barrels that were handcrafted blacksmith by your uncle who's fucking was abused by your neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Verbally, just called him a badass every day on the way to the bus stop. And that's why he made guns.
Yeah, bro. You got it. Yeah, dude. I love that. I love that analogy though. Actually, I think that we could use it all to destroy each other, or we could just respect each other's presentation and build on that.
Use the boss at this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I gotta
absolutely.
somewhere. You know what I mean? Not everyone's getting an FNN in the first purchase. You know?
No, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Okay. I was going through some of your skits the other night, and I saw you had one. You did, it was the officer skit. It was the officer character, and I saw you had a skit with the Cali Plug. So I guess how did you link up with him? He's obviously a really interesting character. And I guess like how do you think the Cali Plug has kind of fared in like kind of establishing himself in this new era of cannabis, new industry?
Oh, well, I think he doesn't have to try to establish himself. He's there. His Snapchat's a powerful move. His pop-up sales are very powerful. He's a great marketer because his styles, once again, he just came with something different. You know, you have to come with something different. But his thing is like, I'll show up to your city and I'll sell grams all day at your shop. $10 grams, right? I'll have 700 people wait in line. But that 700 people are posting online that they were there. So that line became a massive media storm. And whoever's business paid him to do it won. You know what I'm saying? So he's very, very genius marketer, very polite dude in real life. I don't like his online behavior and shit. He's pretty loud, like crazy dude like that, but very polite gentleman. I will say that. That dude's very, very gentleman, very cool dude, funny as fuck. But mutual friend, he was up here looking for some product to white label, and my homie's like, you want to do a skit with them? And I just like, at that point, I was like, we're gonna freestyle this shit. And we did. It ended up me being like, your weed was mistaken for a bag of dog shit, and like flicking the fun with them. But the fact that this dude was like, I'm willing to come up there, make a skit with y'all, post some shit on my page, support you, even though I'm way bigger than you, and I'll be the butt of the joke. Like, you're fucking good. You're locked in out here forever, homie. Like, respect forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was cool as fuck. And it was a fucking funny ass skit.
Dude, Cali plugging your wife, man. Oh,
yeah. I want to work with him again, but I feel like he might be a little. He's like, I ain't gonna shoot that twice. But I had written a bunch of other stuff where like Ernie like gets in a fight at the halfway house because the other dudes won't admit that Cali Plug's his nephew and shit. And like, I got to talk him into it. I've texted him a couple of times where he just gives me like, yeah, we'll talk. You know, so, listening. Don't worry, bro. We're not gonna get you again.
I mean, dude, yeah, that guy's he's got a reach though, man. Like my homies, like they've been knowing about him forever. And yeah, no, he's definitely got a reach.
I gotta say, like the persistence. You have to respect the persistence. This is, you know, you deal with a lot of hate, a lot of negativity. You're always putting yourself out there, but you're doing it because you know there is some people that enjoy watching it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, think about it. This dude gets, you know, what, 15, 20,000 views on his Snapchat every day. And he's probably dealt with so much hate, but he knows this 20,000 people love this fucking shit he's saying. So he's like, I'm throwing it out there. Like, these fools are loving it. It's coming out there. Fuck anything else, you know? So it's like, there's a certain amount of loyalty that I guess goes on with like an influencer that's his size. And like, you know, you don't really even have a private life because he's like, I'm just going to post everything because that's what they want, you know? So
absolutely, dude.
Pretty dedicated to his fucking fans. You know?
Yeah, he seems like he fucking works hella hard. But and I kind of see you guys in more like a different like lane of the, I don't want to say influencer, I guess, but like I guess like for him he's an influencer, but like you guys are the authenticity and real for me. When I see the other people, it's like it's just you've talked about it.
I'm really in this shit. You know what I mean? Like really about it, really been in it. My stories are not fabricated, you know. So with him, I think he has an internet thing going. You know, I don't think he didn't grow up in cannabis culture. He didn't. Come up I don't necessarily think. But like if you met him, I don't think he would sit there and go, "I'm this, I'm that." You know, he's very real about in person, I guess, about what you know. And with me, like, look, he just dropped a fucking rap album. That takes balls, bro. Like you're comfortable with yourself. Like you have nothing to hide. You just doing your thing. So
absolutely, bro.
But as far as who we are, we couldn't be farther from you know, we're complete opposite. Like I have talent. You know what I'm saying? It's different between a person who makes fucking videos and talks about that shit. And I have like legitimate talent. You know what I'm saying? Which is like I could develop somebody else into being something great. It doesn't necessarily have to be me. I could write it. Whereas him is like the talent stops there. He is the brand. And with me and like Black Market Vikings, our capabilities are far beyond that. We might not be as big on Snapchat or as big, you know, online, but like as far as like our capabilities, we're a mega force. We could write, produce that shit, film that shit, post that shit, make it go viral, get it on the shelves, help manage it, turn it into something neat. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, bro. I mean, I think that's a really good point you bring up though too about the group and the individual like brand. So like, you know,
he can do it for him, but I can develop it for me and other people, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's also like long term. Like you guys are developing the brand, and he's just developing his personal brand. Not to like because he's doing like I've seen him like start to like the Cali Plug that brand, but like it is him. So, but you're developing all these different characters and people, and I think that long term the value is going to be immense. Not to say that obviously Cali Plug is killing it, crushing it, but I think that's a super interesting point. Okay, this is a really interesting question that I wanted to ask you that we kind of were talking a little bit about. But so, you know, given the competitive nature of the industry, how do you balance business relationships? Like because you work with a lot of different brands, right? You know, you may have two brands that you work with and they fucking hate each other. How do you balance that out?
Like you've been around people who grow, you know what I'm saying? And you know that like it's a special kind of personality. Like God bless all of them. Like
bro, they have the biggest egos. Like, and I love them too. Like, and I get it, dude. But it's like it was like, you know, especially there's different. Yeah, dude. They have. I'm trying to like find him another good like industry person that I can like.
It is, bro. It's egotistical.
It's so ego. Oh, that motherfucker grew the worst steps. Dude. Like this, I hear that all like just like all that shit. Like it's constant shit talking.
You know, so like a lot of them, you know. So you have fighters who are like obsessed with themselves, and you have rappers. You know, so I think with any realm that they believe that this is something they're meant to be doing, they're gonna have a little bit of ego. But I think like, damn, with us, we're like on such treading on such thin ice because like like what if you're really cool and like we go to your city and we smoke with you, but like this dude at this farm hates you, but we still fuck with him. So I think like one thing to always remember, in the very beginning, I didn't like none of you white market motherfuckers. Not one. You know what I'm saying? Until I got out there and met some people and learned more about that culture inside this culture. You know what I'm saying? But in the beginning, didn't like a single one of you motherfuckers. And the plot was to really just attack all y'all and make fun of you till you fucking hired some UFC fighters to beat us up. You know what I'm saying? But so one thing to remember, didn't like anybody at first, and then started meeting people and realizing this is all just a bunch of black market people that just smart made the crossover, you know. And then there is those
white market people that are like straight coming out of a fucking like whatever you think of corporate. They're literally walking out of that.
But so when I started meeting people, I'm like, okay. But then you'd meet people who, you know, dislike another person, or they collabed, it didn't work out. And like one thing I just learned recently is just like with us, there's like no way for us to avoid being in the middle because we want to work with everybody. So like we're just gonna have to own that. We're gonna try to work with everybody who's cool, everybody who fucks with us, regardless of their previous history with another company, you know. So we're gonna have to just own that, like we're the dudes who are stuck in the middle. So hopefully everybody will be happy for us. But if they're not, we'll just start making fun of them, call them little butt pirates of the white market, and fucking get them out their farm sucking. You know, no, I wouldn't do that. But you know, it's like.
I mean, you're just gonna stay out of it, really, right? You're gonna let them do like.
Own it. Like, yes, we're working with this dude, and like you're our friend, but we're working with this dude, and he's our friend. So like, if we're friends still, then like let's just never talk about it again. But if we're not, then fuck off. You know?
Yeah, and it's like even if somebody isn't realizing that, and they're like, well, you're not, you know what I mean? Like they're obviously not thinking long term and aren't even the smartest people in the first place. Like
it's like, what if they fucking like get mad, we do something, and then like 6 months later they're like back best friends with the dude.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna fuck you, Black Michael. You guys are fucking, you know, we don't fuck with those dudes. And like 6 months later, they're like best friends, but we got shunned and shit. Like, fuck it, we'll own that. We'll be that dude. I don't give a fuck. But no more like, you know, it's just like we're just gonna be those dudes that will work with everybody who's cool, regardless of their reputation, and hopefully that'll pan out. But see, another thing too is like you get to a situation where like we kind of had to like get some sponsors, dude. Like we had to have some sponsorship to keep this shit going because. Kind of had to stop hustling to, you know, have sponsors. But if we lose sponsorship over it, or we don't get skits because of, you know, we work with this person, then so be it. Because one thing that people in white market cannabis don't understand is like white market cannabis checks are nothing compared to entertainment checks.
you're so right on that.
Like I'll buy your whole facility. You know what I mean?
They got bread. They got bread. Not the like because you're hella right. You're hella right.
Newman salads and shit. I'll take your whole facility. No, but like our goal was never like we want to be a white market like poster boy. You know, like we had some awesome fucking sponsors that fell with us that were like, "Yo, we're gonna support you guys' comedy," and that was like dope because we needed the products they had to build a little fucking 8-lighter that's holding us all together. You know what I'm saying? But it was fucking dope. How we end up linking with some of the cooler people and still now linking with some of the cooler people. So hopefully that won't change. Don't want to get all butthurt that we link with the wrong.
I don't think they, I think if they're smart, they won't get butthurt, and low-key, if they do for some reason, then you just, like I said earlier, you'll know, bro. They're people to really be working with long-term. Like they really aren't. Like
just imagine tomorrow, like some streaming network just shows up at the door and is like, all right, we're done fucking around. Like, here's 8 figures a couple times over again. Put that in the bank and let's go to Hollywood and start filming. Okay, so like that doesn't happen to a weed grower. A weed grower doesn't sign a contract where he gets fucking 3, 4, 5 million right off the rip, unless he's gonna go fuck that budget up and have them fucking, you know, med out. You know what I mean?
Oh god, dude, yeah, that's a great. Yep, we should call it the MedMen. That whole style of just.
I've been wanting to do that. Find a gnarly investor and just fuck off the budget. Lose like 30 pounds using drugs.
Yeah, Canada, bro. The scammers really came, dude. It went from like crypto scammers, and then like the whole era, and then like now there's like the cannabis scammers, the people that come in. Oh yeah, I can do a what's it called what's it called, the fucking, you like rebuild the genetics. A tissue culture. Oh, I know how to build a tissue culture. I'm a genetic expert, and they don't know shit, dude. And they just know how to like just complete. And dude, I've seen people actually take like hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that. I'm not joking. That's I mean, it's so bad.
I'm people, okay, but that lawsuit's going stale. Okay, I want to find some Canadian investor and do to them what Talon did at Salesforce, which is like no call, no show for 3 years, and then sue them when they fire you. That's what we need to do, dude. And then, like, every time they mention a drug test, just like take off running. But yeah, no, I think fucking I think there's like big money going around right now. I think the black market's gonna have a rough couple years.
Yeah.
Humboldt itself is looking at a little rough patch. Like, I didn't know this, bro, but there's some shit in Southern California being built that's like unimaginable. Unimaginable. So just imagine like something that's unimaginable. Come on, down.
Entertainment check and reinvest.
Yeah. So like, yeah, white market weed, woo, that's cool. Thank you guys. Love you guys too. We like getting stoned and shit. But like Paramount, like, yeah, we'll take a road check. Thanks. But we're hoping that at some point we'll get to make movies about our come up, like about the people, the companies, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm getting a Lux Lighting tattoo, which pretty much not going away. You know what I mean? So let's hope they fucking stay on the team, because
that'd be awkward.
Yeah. Jeez.
That's so funny, dude.
Yeah, I mean, and then, you know, we're going to see what happens. Last year at their Christmas party, we got in some trouble. Fucking Talon ended up barfing and then using his own barf like a slip and slide, going down their hallway and taking out like 4 people. And one of the chicks broke her elbow when she fell. And she sued Lux Lighting for 1.3 mil. So we're trying to work off that fucking, you know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Those fine, but those fucking Christmas parties though, dude, like low key, like I have a few, like there's a few stories, my homies, that they've done some shit like that.
We're gonna have a Black Market Vikings Christmas party where like the fucking second you walk in the door, you have to do a gacker of ketamine, eat a chocolate mushroom, and then they give you a packet of free-rolled joints and blunts, and then a bean bag like in the corner with a fireplace, and it's outdoors.
That'd be fire.
Yeah, that's
That'd
gonna be
fire.
the thing. We're gonna do like a sesh where it's Mando that you like do some shrooms or like snort. We're gonna do like Mando sesh. We're like even like
Go.
brought my mom. Well, cool. Looks like she's doing a
Good,
gack.
yeah, or you're fucking leaving. Like,
Yeah. Seth Rogen offered to make us a pipe because you know he does pottery and shit.
oh really?
And the one he made really fucking sucked. Yeah. So I threw it in a fucking barrel. I hope the fire burnt it back down to clay. But I'll show you. One of our buddies did make us one. I'll show you this one.
That's wild. So Taylor, that didn't happen at the
No.
Christmas party, or no? I'm joking.
No, that wasn't a break. It wasn't that.
Yeah, no, she broke her elbow when he jumped up and threw her back down on the ground and said, "Watch out for my puke, you old wench." Seth Rogen didn't make us shit. My buddy made us this one.
Oh, that's fire.
Pretty cool.
Oh, that's super fire. Oh, that's super dope. Bro, y'all need to get, you guys need to get a fucking deal with somebody with the sunglasses, bro, and have the Black Market Viking sunglasses.
I know, but then it's like, the reason I like the sunglasses is because they're actually Oakleys and they're fun to fucking watch sports wearing.
Dude, Oakley,
I
man.
hate people call them pit vipers. It really makes me want to kick people in the nuts. Like, it really makes me want to kick people in the testicles. Like, stop calling them pit vipers. I'm not that douchey. Like, come on, guy. They're Oakleys. They serve a purpose. They stay on my head and shit when I'm screaming at my kids from the sidelines. You know what I mean? Like, I hate when people call them pit vipers. It makes me want to kill myself, seriously.
Bro, that's, oh, yeah, dude.
Hey,
Yeah.
this Ralph, like, fuck! Let that guy do his thing. Even though I'm completely copying him and knocking his style, don't call me out for it. Like, fuck, let me copy that dude in peace.
People getting all, yeah, bro. Okay, so just last question. So we were talking a little bit about the music, but I was interested. So like, you know, Humboldt is obviously it's closer to the Bay, obviously, but like, as LA, like, how has like LA music or LA, you know, like, or the Bay Area music or culture or really anything, what has affected Humboldt more? Is it just kind of a mixture of the both, or do you see anything like dominant with like maybe LA culture or like the Bay Area? I don't know if there is.
Like, I don't know how it is outside of this area, but like, do you consider like Sacramento kind of like Bay Area as well, like Northern?
Yeah. Because like if you think like for me, like Mozzie and shit, like all those people, like all those. Yeah, I would call them part of the Bay, like, right? And I think they'd probably call it, but that's like not really the Bay, right? That's not.
No, that's like Central Valley, and they have their own going out there. But I would say like Humboldt, 100% Bay rap, Sacramento rap dominant.
Yeah.
Not too much underground LA shit coming out here. You know what I mean? Like being like dropped. Like even when we did them skits with the White John, have you ever heard him?
No, I don't think so.
Watch our skits in LA. Like there's some songs, Bravo the Bag Chaser. Those are young ass LA fools that are popping right now. Like when I went down there, I'm like, who's the most popping youngster in the streets unsigned? And these are the people they told me. So I started listening to their music. So like up here, you're not gonna hear like an underground, like hardcore new LA artist. But if an artist is big enough to break through, West Coast is still West Coast. But this is like Sacramento rap. Like,
Yeah, I can. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I was super interested in that because some of the music you guys picked too. Like I could hear, like you can hear that Bay Area flow. That like it's like I can just, people are like stealing it now, but like I would call that the Bay Area flow. Like it's like the excuse me. It's like it's like they've kind of taken like Mac Dre, kind of developed it more, made it like quicker, but it's like it's like up and down. It's hella. It's kind of hard to describe. I'm not really the best.
Well, like I personally, that's like a toss up for me though, 'cause I like a lot of LA shit.
Yeah.
I like LJ, Mr. LA. Like I like a lot of like LA shit. I think that shit's hard. So for me, it's definitely like 50-50 for me. But up here, definitely Sacramento rap dominant.
Yeah.
And then you have like, there's a huge reggae scene out here. Like reggae.
I bet. Yeah.
Reggae music is big here. Reggae festivals, outdoor concerts, anything reggae out here is big, and it's cool because it's an excuse for like chicks with really saggy titties to like get together, kind of like move them around. You know what I mean? And like smell like shit. But then the other people that are there are usually pretty fun too. I like reggae live, like I like it in person.
Reggae's dope, dude. I love reggae. I don't really know anybody that doesn't like reggae. Tell me you don't like reggae, bro. You don't have a heart.
Yeah, you're a weirdo.
Yeah, you're like a low-key weirdo. Like you're a psychopath. Like.
But like, if you're a Bay Area rapper and you've never done a show in Humboldt, you're not a Bay Area rapper. I'm sorry. You've never been on tour. You've not made it past. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, get out to Humboldt, man.
Like,
seriously.
This is when you know this is like the Bay Area rapper who's like tempted to do a show out of state, but he doesn't know if it's safe. So he does that one shithole town right by the border. That's us. Wiz Khalifa performed for like $6 out here once a long ass time ago.
What?
Famous, yeah, bro. It was dope. It was a really good performance, actually.
That's wild.
When my checks be looking like phone numbers, I was like,
oh, dude, man. Shout out to Wiz. Yeah, that's
50 people there. I saw Raekwon here from Wu-Tang one night at a brewery do a whole set. At
the fuck, really?
Yeah.
That's
Pulled up
wild.
bus, came in the brewery, had a beer, and did a whole set. It's pretty dope.
That's dope, dude.
Kind of like a legend. But yeah, like Barry, if you're a rapper in the Bay, you got to do a show in Humboldt. That's part of the get down. You can't get some Humboldt people in the door, you're fucked. It ain't gonna
Absolutely, man. You gotta go through the whole circuit, and Humboldt's definitely should be one of them, man.
It's awesome too when like a Sacramento Bear, like they come, like we'll catch them before they're famous, then they'll come back like 2 years after they get like a decent little song, 200,000 streams. It's just like every chick with chlamydia just comes out.
Just comes out of the work.
Out here on tour, they come back, their neighborhood's rocked. So many leaky faucets and burning bladders and shit. Oh, there's so many fucking mixed kids around here. Who's his dad? Like, there's hundreds of those. I'm fucking help raising a bunch of them because they live in my hood and I love them. You know what I mean? But yeah, random guy from Richmond. Like, yeah, just so you don't know.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah, bro. Well, I think this was a good one, dude. So let's shout out the different social media handles and
DJ Humboldt, one word on TikTok. That's the most dominant page. If you don't have TikTok and you're out there, you're robbing yourself of a great opportunity to watch some pretty cool shit because it actually is a good app. It has good videos. Your algorithm's going to be really corny in the beginning, but once your algorithm on there starts figuring out what you like to watch, chicks twerking, it just fucking
so addictive. It's so addictive.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild, yeah. It's because like Vine, bro. I used to be addicted to Vine, bro. And then I knew about Vine, and I was like, because dude, Vine, bro, you would start watching and you look up, you like look at the clock, and like 2.5 hours went by, and you're like, I'm not even like this is,
Vine, bro. I don't remember when it was out. I didn't use social media till like 2000.
Yeah, bro. But Vine is just the exact same thing as TikTok, and the people that like Twitter shut it down. I can't remember who bought it and shut it down, but the Chinese company bought it, and then they just redid it. And they're like, this is. I don't know why. Like they figured a way to monetize, I think, and dude.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm gonna have Germ hit you up too because he definitely wants to come on and holler.
Yeah,
at you.
absolutely, bro.
It worked this time and fucking Taylor fucking get too gacked and fucking log us onto the wrong Wi-Fi and the neighbor's shit. Like last time. Fuck. But yeah, bro, definitely want to come back on. Then we're gonna have you on our shit too. We have a new show called Surprise. There's a camera. We gave you some Xanax. You don't remember yesterday. It's a road trip show. Look, surprise! There's a camera. We're on a road trip. You took Xanax yesterday. Yeah, we're
in a different state now. Yeah, that's
out, and then we use your Face ID from your phone to just get all in your shit. Order Ubers, send horrible content. Order some shit from Amazon.
Get the
You have debt.
Venmo everyone in the group.
Weird shit. So it's called Surprise. There's a camera, and you took Xanax yesterday. We want you to be our first, we won't say victim, but guest.
Bro, if it's anything like the Eric Andre show, but like on the road, I might pass that up. But no, I'm just kidding. Dude, have you seen that show, Eric Andre? Have you seen?
That Felipe Esparza dude's on there. I gotta watch it. I'm a big fan.
Dude, it is so funny because what they do is they literally like, bro, it's like they'll have all these different things that just so that they'll have it so the publicist. It's all about like getting the publicist to not know about the show, so that these people, these celebrities, come on not knowing, and then they just literally make it just a hellhole for them, and they'll turn the heat up to 100. They'll have people popping out of nowhere to scare them. They'll just like do all types of shit to fuck with this dude. You would love the show. Look it up. Like after this, I swear to God, Eric Andre show, so funny. What was that?
No, because Felipe's on there. Esparza, that's my dog, the comedian dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the long hair dude that's on the show with him.
Oh yeah, the guy that he goes. Yeah.
That fool's stand up is fucking crazy, fool. Like,
I need to check him out then.
Ridiculous. His stand up will have you dying. But yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Thank you for having us, bro. We'll definitely come back on, and Germ's gonna be in touch.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely want to talk to him, and yeah, dude, I appreciate you guys both. And yeah, we'll definitely have you guys back on. And
then yeah, just on a closing note, CJ underscore Humboldt on Instagram. In 2009, Talon boned a dude in Switzerland.
And we're out.
And I gotta go way, way up. Pop these drugs.